Hey guys, Trevor here with Pre-Approve.me. Today I'm going to be showing you guys a quick tutorial on how you can build an integration between Pre-Approve.me and Slack. If you aren't familiar with Slack, it's a communication platform that you can use to keep your team in sync, direct message each other, and chat and group messages and whatnot. It's a great system. We use it here a lot at our offices. And so we wanted to show you guys how you could build an integration between our system, Pre-Approve.me, and Slack. The primary goal of this integration is going to be showing loan status updates to you and to your team in Slack. So at the end of this, what you'll see, if you go through this tutorial, you'll see when you trigger a milestone or a condition, change loan status, add a note, you do anything to a loan within Pre-Approve.me, you'll see a message pop up in Slack notifying not just you, but your team that things have been happening on a specific loan. There's kind of two different paths we can go down here. Option one, if you're familiar with Slack, we'll create a new channel for every single loan or lead that comes into the system, and then we will post loan updates to that channel. The one downside of this is you will have to manually add your team to that channel for every loan and lead that comes through. Alternatively, you could create a single channel in Slack and have all the loan updates from all of your loans and leads flow into that one channel. Now, that might get overwhelming if you're doing a lot, you're working on a lot of loans, that could start to get kind of messy. You might miss a lot of stuff in it, but on the upside of that, you could just create the channel, add your team to it, and everybody immediately starts receiving updates. So it's kind of up to you on how you build this out. In this tutorial, we're going to be showing you how to do it through option one. So we'll be creating a new channel for every loan and lead that comes through, and then posting updates to that channel. All right, now to get this started, there's going to be a total of 7 steps or 7 zaps you're going to have to build out to get things working in at least the same way that we have it built out. Now, feel free to go through here, change any of these, delete any of these, add whatever you want to do. Feel free to do it. This is just the way that we determined on how to do it internally here. So I'm going to go through here and show you each of these and how they work. So the first 2 here say when a loan is created or when a lead is created, then create a channel in Slack, and then start sending our loan updates to that channel. So that's what those are going to be for. And then just to show you how that works, I'm going to go through here and do that right now. So I'm just going to create a loan here real quick. So as soon as I create this, you are going to see a channel pop up here on the left, right here, Z Trevor Test. The reason this Z is here is something I set up intentionally so that all of our loans are categorized here in the same location on the left. Otherwise, if you didn't add that, then your loans would start getting mixed in with all of your other channels and stuff. It just gets messy. So I decided to add a Z to the bottom of this here, or to the front of this here, so that all of my channels, all of my loans show up in the bottom half of the channels list. But as you can see, create a loan here, new channels created. There's a little thing up here where you can view the loan. So I can actually click on this, and that's going to open up Pre-Approve.me, and it's going to load up that loan. So that's just kind of a quick and easy way to get back into Pre-Approve.me. And then, let's see here, next step is when a letter is issued. So I'm just going to go through here and quickly fill out a pre-approval letter. So I'm just going to leave this all stock. And as soon as that sends, we're going to get a little message here saying a pre-approval letter was just issued. Here's the information. Again, feel free to take away from this list here. This is just what I threw in there. Next we have milestone updated, so I'm just going to go in here, update a milestone real quick. And then you'll see another message pops up. Milestone was just completed on Trevor's loan. Next is going to be note added, so we'll just go ahead and add a team note here. That is going to post in the channel here. Condition updated. So I'm just going to go through here. I don't have any conditions marked as required, so I'm just going to go through here and check these real quick. So I'm just going to accept one, reject one, hit save, and then there's two here because I marked these ones as required. I forgot about that, so just ignore this. You'll see here's the conditions that have been updated, pay stubs, tax returns, all the things I just changed, as well as the status that they've been changed to. And then the last one here, status change. So if I change the loan from in process, actually, sorry, it's marketing status, from new to pre-approved, that is going to send out another update here saying the loan status has changed. So that kind of gives you an idea as to what you can expect, how this is going to work. All right, so let's just go ahead and jump into the nitty-gritty of how to actually build this out. So step one here, you'll see step one is going to say when a new loan is created, that's step one, then create a channel in Slack. So I'm going to go down here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to say channel name. This is the Z that I was talking about earlier. So I typed in Z dash, and then just to show you how I built this all out, I'm going to start over. So I'm going to type in Z dash primary borrower first name, and then primary borrower last name. Again, this is something you can change, but this is how the name, this is how the name for the channel is going to be determined. So, you know, if you don't want to say Z here, you can remove that. If you want to say show up at the top here on the left, then you could change it to A because it goes alphabetical. But I want these to show up at the bottom, so I'm going to say Z dash primary borrower first name, primary borrower last name. That's just going to create the channel. And then step 3 here, I'm going to set the channel topic. So this is an optional step as well. This is what I set up here so that you can just click this button here and jump to the loan, which is just kind of a nice to have thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say in Slack, set channel topic, and then I'm going to customize the topic. I can delete this out again. So when you select this, you'll see options here for new loan and pre-approve me, create channel in Slack. We're going to say select the channel that we just created in step 2. So here's step 2, we created the channel. Now we're going to select the channel ID from that channel. So we're saying, basically what we're saying is create a loan, create a channel in Slack, then select that channel in Slack here and add this topic. So what I did here is I just typed in view loan, and then this might look kind of like gibberish, but if you want to get this URL, just go ahead and open up a loan and pre-approve me, select the URL at the top here, and then copy that in. I'm just going to delete this. Copy and paste that in here, and then just delete these numbers at the end. This is the loan ID, so you'll see that that number matches your loan number here. So just go ahead and delete loan ID, and then you're going to say insert data from pre-approve me. Go ahead and search ID. And so what this is going to do is this is going to construct a URL that links back to this loan. And then because I want this to look nice, I'm just going to say view loan. And then this is going to construct this into exactly what you see up here at the top. And then go and hit continue. Keep in mind throughout this process, Zapier is going to ask you to test this, but the tests are probably going to fail just because of the fake data that's being sent across from PAM to Slack. So if you see a test fail, don't worry about it. Just turn your Zap on, set it live, and then test it with a real account. And if you're having issues then reach out to us, let us know. We can try and help you through it. But if you see a Zap fail here or a test fail, don't worry about it. That's normal. That's something you can't really get around right now just because the data that's being sent from PAM to Zapier to Slack is fake data. So that sums up step 1. Step 2 is exact same thing, but instead of new loan, we're going to say new lead. So what I actually did here, so I selected this drop down and hit copy. So I just copied over this exact Zap and then went ahead and changed out new loan for new lead. So this is what it was originally. I changed it to what is that? New lead. The rest of these steps here, step 2, step 3, are exactly the same. So let's go back here. So step 3, letter issued. We're going to say step 1, when in pre-approve me, a letter is issued, then send a channel message in Slack. This is going to be kind of the same template that we use for all of these updates. We're going to say, when something happens in pre-approve me, then send a channel message in Slack. So if you go down here, you'll go to customize channel message. I know this is where things get a little bit more complicated. Because this is a new Zap in Zapier, there is no context of this channel. So this new Zap doesn't know that this channel we just created exists. So what we have to do is we have to tell we have to tell Zapier, look up this channel that we just created. And so we're going to do that by basically entering that same formula that we did in step 1 and 2, where we say, in my instance, Z dash primary borrower first name, primary borrower last name. And what that's going to do is it's going to try and post a message to this channel. And because we created this channel in step 1, that channel will exist and we'll be able to send an update to it. If you type this in differently than in step 1 and step 2, it won't work. Your Zap will fail to send every time. So just make sure that this matches the same exact formula as steps 1 and steps 2. Down here in message text, so this is going to be the same thing that I did right here in this example. So a pre-approval letter was just issued to primary borrower last name. Here's the scenario details. Inside of Slack, an asterisk before and after text is used to determine whether or not it's bold. So what I did is I just went through here and typed this all in by hand, star loan type star. So I'll show you how to do one of these here, just oops, so you can see how it works. So I just typed in loan type, and then I went and said insert data, and then I typed in loan type purchase. So just selected this tag code here, and then you can just go through and do that same thing for all these. So purchase price, down payment, interest rate, loan type. There's a bunch of fields here that pre-approve me sends across to Zapier, so you can add a ton of data. I just wanted kind of some of these basic fields to come across now, so that's what I entered there. Then down below, you have some more options here. These are all completely up to you, customizable. I wanted this to be custom, so I didn't want this message to come from me personally. I wanted it to come from this fake bot that I created, so I said send as bot. If you say no, that's just going to send the message as if it was from you, the loan officer. So I said, I want to send this as a bot. And so I gave my bot a name and then a link to the profile picture that I used here. So all of this is optional. You can customize it as much or as little as you want to. So feel free to change that. Down here, include a link to this app. I'm just going to say no. I don't care about linking back to this app. There's not really a reason to. And then the rest of this stuff here is all just the default. All of the default fields, so you don't need to change any of this stuff. So I'm going to hit done editing. So after having this completed, you send out a pre-approval letter. You're going to get this message popping up in Slack. So now we have like an actual functioning Zapier setup. And now everything we're doing at this point in time forward is just adding on to it. So we have letter issued, we have the channel being created. Now we're going to say when a milestone is completed. So step 1 is going to be choose app, pre-approve me. When a milestone is completed, then just like in the previous step, we're going to say send channel message in Slack. We're going to go down customize channel message. We're going to construct the channel name just like we did the first few times. And then message text is going to be just like we did with pre-approval letter. So I went here and just typed in, the triggered milestone name, was just completed on primary borrower's first name's loan. Again, customize this as much as you want. And then I just said, send as a bot again, use the same name, use the same image. All this stuff is basically the same. We're just changing the trigger that causes the message to go out. Then obviously the message text. So that's going to cover milestones, and then note added. This is going to be exactly the same. Choose app event. When a note is added, then send a Slack channel message. Constructing the channel name, adding the message text. There is a tag code in here called note text, and that's going to be what pulls over the data from pre-approve me to Zapier. Again, all this stuff is exactly the same down here. Go back here real quick. And then now we get to conditions updated. Now, this one is significantly more complicated. Hopefully I'll be able to explain it well here, but because conditions are a list of, it could be a list of 5, 6, 7 different items with a bunch of different statuses connected to each of those items, we have to get a little bit trickier in Zapier to actually take that data and construct it into a format that makes sense. So let's go ahead and jump into that one real quick. All right, so step 1 is going to be same as the others. When a condition status is changed in pre-approve me, then do this. But as you can see here, we've got 4 steps total. So before we actually send out a channel message to Slack, we're going to use Zapier utilities to take the data from pre-approve me and reconstruct it in a more readable fashion. So we can get it, like we have here where it says pay stubs accepted, tax returns, waiting borrower, all that. So first step, when a condition status is changed in pre-approve me, then do this. So step 2 is going to be, you're going to select choose app and event. The app is going to be formatter by Zapier. The action event is going to be utilities. So this will look a little bit different to you because you'll be creating these steps by scratch. But you'll want to select the formatter by Zapier. You're going to want to select utilities. Then go down to customized utilities, and then you're going to select the line itemizer. So in the transform option here, you're going to select line itemizer, create, append, prepend. So go ahead and select that. Ignore this field. Go down here, line item properties. So you're going to type in name for 1, and then you're going to look up the condition name. So I'll go ahead and just do this with you real quick. So name, insert data from pre-approve me. We're going to type in condition name and pull in that tag code. And then we're going to hit, I think, I'll just do this again here. So so enter name, enter condition name into this field using the tag codes, then select the plus. Then we're going to type in status, and then we're going to insert data from pre-approve me. We're going to type in condition status. So that's going to grab the condition name, it's going to grab the condition status, and right now pre-approve me is going to send this list over in a list of values separated by commas. So what we need to do is we need to take that list, take out the commas, take out all the different like condition names that were separated by the commas, and create a list rather than just a long text string of those values. So name and status, condition name, condition status, and then we're going to scroll down here, create subtotal property, no, decimal places for subtotal values, nothing there. So just hit continue at this point, and that's going to be good to go. As you can see here, you have line item 0, which has the condition name and the condition status, and then you have line item 1, which is going to have the condition name and condition status. Normally, if you were just to take the data from pre-approve me and send it directly to Slack, this is just going to be a long string of the condition names by themselves, then a long string of the condition statuses by themselves with no context linking them up. So now what we've done is we've linked up conditions name and condition status. And that's step 2. So we'll go ahead and done editing, and we're going to step 3. We're going to be using the same utility, so formatter by Zapier, utilities. We'll go down to customize utilities. Now this time, instead of using the line itemizer, we're going to use line item to text. So now we're going to take that data that we just itemized and we're going to turn it into actual text. So down here in the input field, what we're going to do is we're going to say, I'm just going to do this by scratch so you can see this. I'm going to say utilities, output line items name, and then I'm going to say space dash space output line item status. So what this is doing is this is taking name, it's taking status, it's combining them together into one single value. And what I'm going to do here as well, because I want the name to be bold, I'm going to add a star before and after this tag code here. And that's just going to get this to be bold, like you see over here. And then you're going to go down to separator. Now this one is a little janky, but it works. So what you're going to need to do is you're going to type a period and then hit enter. So what you're going to have is a period on one line and nothing on the next line. And that is going to get this to space down. So rather than just being a massive list that just goes on and on, you're going to get separate lines for each of these individual conditions. So I'm looking at ways to try and improve this, but this is kind of what we have for now. So just type in a period, then type in enter, and you should be good to go. After that, we can go down to send data. This is just going to show you what it looks like. So item 1, fake pay stubs dash accepted, which is exactly what we want. Now we're going to hit done editing. So at this point in time, you have all the data you need. Now you can just send the channel message out in Slack. So we'll move on to step 4, where we do the same as we did on steps, 3 through 5, where we say send a channel message in Slack, and then customize channel message. We're going to construct the channel name like we did previously, and then we're going to send message text just like we did previously as well. So I'm going to say conditions have been updated for, conditions have been updated, please see below. So I'm just going to delete this so I can show you what I did as well. So conditions have been updated. I just typed that in normally. I'm going to hit enter, and then I'm going to go down here and select 3.utilities. So this is going to take the data from step 3, from this step here. We're going to go down there. We're going to take the data. So what we're going to do is we're going to say fake. Let me double check here. I think we want I think it's this one here. So output line items. No, let me just double check this real quick. Sorry, 1 second. Oh, okay. There was an option. Sorry, it wasn't expanded. I didn't think that sounded right. So what you're going to have to do here is you're going to have to select 3 and then hit show all options, because apparently it's hiding some by default. So select output text, and then at the end of it, hit a period, and that's just going to make it so it formats the same way that we did in step 3 up here. So conditions have been updated, please see below. It's going to display a list of all of your conditions with a period added at the end for consistency's sake. Now I'm just going to go through, same thing, send as bot name, bot icon, link to Zap, no. And then I'm going to go down here to the end, hit done editing, and then we can go ahead and set this live. And at this point, it should work. So just to confirm this, because I did go through and make some changes to show you here, I'm going to go back over and it's not formatted correctly. So I'm just going to go ahead and mark 1 as accepted, mark 1 as rejected, and then hit save changes. And then we'll, oops. Yep, so it looks like it still works just fine. So I just wanted to confirm, since we went in there and modified a few things. So conditions have been updated, please see below. Here's your list of all your conditions. So that will sum up conditions. Now this one is obviously a lot more complicated than the others, but it's what's necessary in order to get it working. If you do run into any issues along this step, reach out to our support team. We can help walk you through this if you need to. So if you do run into any hiccups, just let us know. But we will go ahead and move on to step 7. So step 7 is status change. Now this one is again simpler because we're just doing the same thing we did before. We're going to say in pre-approve me when loan status is changed, then send a channel message in Slack. So we're going to go ahead and construct the channel name, and then we're going to construct the message text. I went in here and just said, primary borrower first name, primary borrower last name, loan status is changed to status in process. So I'm not going to go through here and delete a bunch of stuff just because I don't want to have to retype it all. But if you go down here and insert data and type in status, you'll see an option here for loan status. So this is kind of the field that matters here. So loan status is changed to status in process. So that is going to be what pulls in loan status data. And then I'm just going to hit send as bot name, just same thing as before that we've done, 5 times now. So all that looks good. Then we're going to hit done editing, and that is pretty much it. So 7 steps. It's a little bit of a long process, but I would expect it only to take 20 to 30 minutes. If you run into any issues, obviously it's going to take a little bit longer, and we'll help you out there. But after this, at least you'll have a good working Slack integration with PreApprove Me. I mean, I think it turned out pretty good and it works pretty well. So, again, as you're going through and doing this, if you did choose option 2 that we talked about in the beginning, where we just select a single channel and send all the updates to that channel, then you'll just want to make sure that you specify that channel name here. So instead of doing this fancy constructing that we did, you could just select the specific channel name, and that would be the same for all these steps in this process. So hopefully this helps you guys. Hopefully it's beneficial, and you guys enjoy this integration. If you guys do, and we see a lot of people using this integration, building a Slack integration like this, we might actually consider building a first-party Slack integration. It's something we've talked about internally, and if there's enough interest in it, and if you guys are using this enough, there's a chance we'll try and get to that sometime soon. But let us know if you guys like this tutorial, and if you want to see more tutorials like this. We want to do this with a bunch of other services too, not just Slack. So this is kind of our first go at it, but we want to start doing Zapier setups for CRMs and other services out there that you guys use. So let us know if you guys want to see more videos like this and what platforms you'd like to see us try and integrate with Zapier. So thank you guys for watching, and if you have any questions, let our support team know. As always, down in the bottom right corner, just hit the our support button here, and usually within 5 minutes somebody will reach out to you. So if you do have any questions, just let us know.